The new rankings by Bloomberg Businessweek comprise a wide-ranging group of men and women spanning the globe, from politicians and bankers to professors and CEOs, all said to exert significant influence on global markets. Here to discuss some of them is Bloomberg Businessweek editor Ellen Pollock. Ellen, good morning.
Good morning.
I was surprised, I have to admit, to see who topped the list. Britain's new Prime Minister, Theresa May. And this is Brexit, I assume.
Yes. I mean, Theresa May is not somebody that a lot of people in the U.S. know about. She's the new prime minister. She came in after the Brexit vote, which means that the U.K. is exiting the EU. She was for the U.K. remaining, but now she's in charge of getting them out. And the big question is whether London will remain the home of the financial base of Europe. Right now, London is the financial center, and now that it's coming out of the EU, she has to make a deal that will keep it a financial center or not.
When you think of people that would be on this list naturally, you think of CEOs and corporate executives. So who were some of the big names that we're talking?
Well, Jeff Bezos, who is the CEO and founder of Amazon,
he's the highest ranking CEO at number 5.
He is, and there are lots of reasons for that. First of all, he replaced Warren Buffett as the third most wealthy man, but also he's expanded Amazon so much, and he's now taking Amazon into delivery services, and it's hard to know what he's going to do next. I mean, he's talked about drones, and whatever he does is going to affect financial markets, because Amazon has become such a big player in so many more industries than you would think.
Another figure on this list I think might be unexpected for some people. At number 19 was Loretta Lynch. How does she end up here?
Well, as Attorney General, she's already obviously very important, but she is now much more involved in looking at financial potential targets, and she has investigations that now seep across national boundaries. She has an investigation of a Malaysian government fund, which is really tricky. She's looking into things at Deutsche Bank, which is really roiling the markets. Yes. So she has sort of outsized influence on the markets.
Okay, let's go back to that person we were talking about earlier. How does John Oliver hit this list?
John Oliver is probably the best educator on financial markets this nation has ever seen.
I think that's a really good point. He's made a real point of doing it, too.
He's made a real point of doing it. He tackles complicated subjects and explains it for everybody. So everybody who watches the show, aside from laughing a lot, sort of comes out a better educated person about the markets, and Puerto Rico is the best example of that. Puerto Rico has terrible debt, on the edge of bankruptcy, and John Oliver did an incredible segment on the problems in Puerto Rico, and I think everybody who watched the show came out far better educated on the plight of Puerto Rico than they would have been.
Nobody does it like him.
Yeah. At number 23 on this list is someone who had a pretty rough week, the CEO of Wells Fargo, John Stumpf. Is he going to stay here, do you think, next year, given what he's been through this week?
Well, that is a very big question, maybe the biggest question of the list, of whether John Stumpf, after appearing before a congressional committee this week, is actually going to remain in his job, because there have been big calls for him being fired or him leaving. There's a big scandal going on at the bank about fake accounts being set up and repossessing cars of service people. So that'll be the big question for next year.
Let's talk about the ranking of Trump versus Clinton.
Well, obviously, whoever wins is going to have more of an influence on markets than probably any politician, except maybe Theresa May. Right. And their views of trade are so different. Their views on immigration are so different. And those are all issues that affect the markets over time.
So you've given them a shared number 2 ranking, depending.
We did. We did not decide to put one above the other. We took the easy way out.
A wise choice.
Really
a political
wise.
choice.
Yes.
Ellen Pollock, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.